All right, guys. 3, 2, 1. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hell yeah! The only thing that can kill bonds is bonds. Or so I'm told, folks. How are you doing? Welcome to the second episode of the ppgp podcast. A faceless, episodic series, ladies and gentlemen. This is the podcast, and I have to open up with an apology to myself. I had meant to record. Oh God, I've even got a timer. Remember, guys, like 30-minute episodes. One episode per day. This was not difficult. It was not really a challenge. And yet, I recorded my first episode. And I forget how many days. I even need to check. Not that it matters, really. I mean, when was the last one? I'll figure it out later. Hopefully, I'll talk as I'm typing. But you get the idea, guys. I have seriously messed up this 30-day challenge. Like, I've got like 10 days left to record the other 29 episodes. And that's kind of not the point of such a challenge. It's not the spirit of the game. You're supposed to do one episode a day. I have failed that, no problem. I'll put my hands up. But like I said to you, is the whole purpose of this, if anything. It was like 14 days ago, I think. Only 8 views. My first episode got 8 views. My goodness, this is horrible business. I'm pretty bad at marketing, guys. But anyway, the whole spirit of it is that 30 episodes, 30 days, no problem. I've messed that up. But I'm still going to complete the 30 episodes as fast as I can, even if it takes me the next like 45 days or whatever. So stay tuned. And remember, folks, the whole purpose of this, really, I mean, like, why would you tune into the Papa G podcast? It's for stories. Okay, this gives me an opportunity to practice my storytelling. And I know we started off with a Vietnam theme there to begin with, but and I don't know how this is going to end. Oh God, have I put my timer on? Yeah, I've got my timer on. Remember, guys, 30 minutes is all I can give you. And I hope to make it entertaining. And it's very odd that West Virginia is the the starting point of my storytelling journey for this episode. It was a very odd thing. Put it this way, right? I'm here to, give you stories. Hopefully, you can listen to this when you're cooking or whatever. I'm not here to talk about my life as of last week. Okay, this is not what this is. What I'm supposed to be doing is telling you stories from 2 years ago or 4 years ago or even like 20 years ago. But there's an odd thing. I've got a story from literally last week. And it really does tie in very well to the whole theme of storytelling, which I was told last week was a dying art by this guy from West Virginia. Could you believe it? Have you even been to West Virginia? Have you heard of such places? Well, it's one place, it's West Virginia, you know what I mean? And I've been there like 5 times in my life. I used to date a woman from West Virginia. And that's why I went to America 5 times. We dated for 5 years. From 2005 to 2010. And don't get me wrong, folks, it kind of hurts me a little bit to say this to you. We, like her and I mean, it's the year 2024 now, so we've been broken up for 14 years. This woman, she is a fantastic woman. I don't know if she's married or not. I don't do this thing on Facebook where I'm like stalking, but I did catch note of a boyfriend and whatnot, and as it is, I mean, I'm 42 years old, folks. I hope you can take a feather out of my cap here or a string from my bow. But do you see when you break up and stuff and you're like in your young 20s or whatever? I mean, have zero bitterness about it, would you? Because here I am at 45 or 42 years old. I do have ex-girlfriends and, you know, we're all out of touch. Nobody wants to talk to me no more. I mean, I was always good at the breakups. But, years later, everyone's married, they got kids. You don't really want to be talking to an ex boyfriend, do you? But I mean, there's times when I think to myself, oh, I'd love to reach out to one of my ex girlfriends and not in a shitty, sleazy way, like I'm trying to fucking get in between the relationship. I'd rather just be like, hey, how are you doing? A 1 hour conversation, just a high five. How are you keeping? But I have like noticed that my ex-girlfriends, they tend to be very loyal to their like husband, which is what you would want. And it's not that I've got that many ex-girlfriends, but I'm just something to show you, folks. I don't know. I see so many. I tell you why I give you this one before I dip into West Virginia, like the storytelling mode. But I mean, even yesterday, I saw somebody treat a woman really poorly, and it was because he had money, but he had no manners and stuff. And you will find this thing, and it's an odd thing where a man will be like overly controlling at points when really there's no need. So, if anything, it's just more of a public service announcement. I mean, if you are listening to this, it's not. It's not even. I mean, I am saying, like, could you please treat women with respect? But don't be afraid to treat, guys with respect. Each other, yourself. Or, I mean, life is short and it does pass in quicker than you think, folks. So, anyway, West Virginia. Last week, I mean, I don't know how outrageous this story is. This is a good one, guys. I mean, this isn't even mine, but I was there and I'm going to tell you what I saw. And it kind of opened up my eyes and it made like this story became a gift to me. So today's, here's episode 2, folks. I'll just crack on. We're in the club. All right. There's like lights popping. There's girls dancing. There's like, everyone else is dancing too. It's a nightclub. The DJ, he's popping his beats. And you got this kind of like back wall, which is made out of lights. And there's like, it's an animation, but AI animation or something. I don't know. Nightclubs are changing, folks. And not for the worse either. So we're in this nightclub anyway. And there's like a side room. So I walk into the side room and it's enough to fill like 20 people. 20 people can fit in the side room. And I noticed there's only 3 people here. And I've been in this side room before. And there's 3 guys there. They're chatting. I'm like, okay, no problem. I just kind of walk past them. It's not much of a squeeze. It's enough room for 25 people, right? So walking past 3 people without budging into them is not much of a hassle for me. And I'm just kind of minding my own business at this point. Okay. And as I am minding my own business, I cannot help but overhear what these 3 guys are talking about. And, bonus point, folks, if you want a bonus point, always remember that when you're drunk and stuff, you think you're whispering. You're actually talking really loud. And I'm also in a room that can fit 25 people. I'm saying nothing. I'm just sitting back, kicking back, chilling out. And these 3 guys, like they're talking. But one guy I notice is telling the story. And the other 2, they're listening. And I've only just walked into the room, like, and I'll go back to the room. So I go to the back of the room, mind my own business, and I do not care. Like, I will give people their space. Like, don't worry about it. I don't mind saying hello to people and everything, but you know what it's like, or maybe you don't, but give people their space and everything. And this guy, he's telling the story, his story, folks, and you're going to hear it now. I mean, and you're going to hear how this ties back to me. I mean, bottom line is I'm standing there and the guy, he's talking about the breakup he's just had with his ex-girlfriend. And there was two things I will notice about this story that he told. Number one, there's the story that he's telling. Like, what story is he telling? Like, who is he? Who is she? What's the breakup? But then there's like the second aspect about storytelling. It's how you tell the story. And this kid, I don't know, man, like folks, I mean, this kid was like 25, educated, and more handsome than me, if you could believe such a thing. But yeah, fantastic storyteller. And the bottom line is, he was like telling these guys about the breakup. And it sounded so painful. So painful. And by the way, my door is open and I live in a hotel. There's going to be people walking past. And if you hear somebody else talking, like, it's not like they're in the room. The room is next door to my room. You get the idea, right? So anyway, here's how it happened, right? I heard what he had to say, and I'll tell you what he said, right? And then I walked over and said hello to him, to the three guys, funny enough. This is a good story, folks. This episode may run longer than 30 minutes, but I hope to catch you within 30, like, don't get me wrong. But I hope to keep you entertained. Remember, this is about storytelling. And it's going to tie in so sweet what this guy had to say. And before I continue, can I please let you know, I failed in getting this guy's email address. I really wanted to help him. But actually help. Like, actually help him, not just rip the guy off. And you might say to yourself, well, gee, why would you say such a thing? Blah, blah. That's okay. Bust my nuts, guys. But this guy got hurt. And you're going to see, it'll all make sense later at the end. Please, I promise you that. I'm not saying that it's M. Night Shyamalan, but it's kind of getting a little close. But I'll let you judge it. I'll do my best with this one, okay? Because it's a good one. And I don't want to mess it up. Remember, folks, it's about the story you're telling and then how you tell it. So anyway, this kid, he's 25, more handsome than me. And I overhear him saying the following. And now the way he said it, he was quite like emotional, but being educational about the whole thing. For me, I'm just reciting it. Okay, so I don't sound as cool as this guy when he said it, because he actually said it and he actually meant it. Man, oh man. Yeah, folks, it's an awkward one. This kid, he's 25, he's from West Virginia. He was living in the city of Los Angeles. This is the story he's telling these two guys. I was just overhearing it before I walked up to say hello. And what happened was he dumped his ex-girlfriend of 3 years. Now, I will tell you, remember earlier on I said I had an ex-girlfriend from West Virginia and we dated for 5 years? Again, if you're young and you're in your 20s, I don't mind saying to you, look, do you see if you're not married by the 3rd year, or more importantly, if by year 3 you're not sure if you're going to get married, that's a really good time to break up. Okay, me and my ex and I, sorry, ex from West Virginia, and we did date for 5 years. Had we cut that relationship off at the 3rd year mark, perhaps we would have been both happier people. Okay. Maybe yes, maybe no, but in general, folks, I don't know what kind of relationship you have or who you are having a relationship with, but if by the 3rd year, as in the end of the 3rd year, so you're starting your 4th year, if you're not sure if marriage is on the cards, just break up. So for this kid, he's from West Virginia, 25 or 24. Him and the woman had been dating for 3 years. He then found out that she had cheated on him. So he broke up with her. Really simple equation. But he starts delving, as he's talking to the other two people in this small side room, everyone's wearing a nice shirt, that kind of thing. The music's pumping on the other side of the door, well, 2 doors away. So it's kind of like a quiet side room. And I am in North Thailand. So he then continues with this woman. She was, cheating on me. I broke up with her. She is an idiot. I paid for her lifestyle. I gave her a house, all her food. I gave her clothing allowance. She was a good woman, good rearing. Next thing you know, 3 years later, she cheats on me. So I break up with her. And he's continued with, that stupid bitch is now living in her ex-boyfriend's a drug dealer, by the way. So she's now living with him with no car. And he really emphasized that. And folks, for those of you that are listening, I'm not an American. So how could I come from Los Angeles? I cannot. This is impossible. But he's going on about how Los Angeles is the worst city to live in when you don't have a car. And I thought to myself, is this guy a little bit too bitter or something? I couldn't quite figure it out. He then continues with, I spent 10,000 US dollars on her lifestyle per month. And that really caught my attention, folks. I thought to myself, who the hell does that? And then I'm thinking, how rich is this guy? How many men can spend 10,000 US dollars per month on their girlfriend? That's like throwaway money for this guy. That's a lot of sushi. Give me hell. That's a lot of sushi. Give me hell. And he goes, and she's thrown it all down the drain for her ex-boyfriend, who's a druggie. We were supposed to go to Thailand. We had this holiday planned out. I was paying for it. Once I realized that she cheated on me, I broke up with her. I phoned her mother up, let her know what happened. The mother gave me 5,000 US dollars to recompensate me for the holiday I paid for in advance. And folks, this isn't me. This is him talking. This isn't me. This is him talking as he's talking to these other two people. Remember, I'm in the back. We're all in the back room, right? But I'm in the back, on the back wall of the same room. This is not my story. That's his. So at this point, I walk forward. Okay. 1, 3, 2, 1. Sorry for coughing. I've kind of got a chest infection. So I walk up to the 3 guys and I say, hey guys, how are you doing? And everyone looks at me like, oh, yeah, pretty good. Like everyone's like best friends and stuff. Like these guys are in their mid-20s or something. And I'm 42. Okay, so I remember doing what they're doing, if you know what I mean, back in the day. Anyway, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, and they're looking at me as if to say, like, why are she talking to us? So I was like, hey, man. And I was like, sorry, guys. I just overheard this guy's story. And I looked into his eyes, and that's when I realized he's more handsome than me and all this kind of stuff. I only saw the back of his head before this. And I was like, hey, man, I don't want to be weird or nothing, but I could not help but overhear your story that you told these two guys. Bear in mind, we're in the same room. I wasn't trying to listen in, but I couldn't help but overhear it. And he was like, yeah, no worries, man. Like, no worries. And I was like, fellas, I've got a really horrible story to tell you. And they're now looking at me like I've got three heads, but they're quite interested. They're like, oh, what's this? Because they've just heard this guy's story. And the guy who told the story, he's also looking at me and he's like, oh, what's this kind of thing? Like, fair enough, right? I was like, look, I did hear your story about your breakup. Let me give you a story about somebody else who had a breakup that was like awkward. And everyone's agreed. They're like, yep. Especially the guy who's just broken up with his chick. He was even talking about how, like, he is sticking to the itinerary that the girlfriend had set, the ex-girlfriend had set, and he knows that she's like spying on him on his Instagram. So he is sticking to the itinerary, taking all those photographs with these hot chicks across Thailand. No, and he's going to Vietnam and Cambodia. Watch your arse in Cambodia, folks. Like, I really do mean that. Watch your arse anywhere. Even in Vietnam, you can get screwed. Oh, Thailand as well. I'm even sitting here. But yeah, I suppose Southeast Asia. Just watch out anyway. But anyway, he's putting all these photographs on Instagram, all these hot chicks, knowing fine well that she's watching. She's spying on him from some crappy apartment in Los Angeles that she can't even drive away from. Like, I do hear, like he was saying, like, if you live in Los Angeles, like, there is no real metro or there's no underground. Like, you do need a car. The bus system is crap. You get the idea. So I was like, look, I've got an interesting story for you. Bearing in mind, you just told your story. Would you like to hear it? So the guy was like, yeah, I'd love to. The other two were like, yeah, I'd love to. I'm like, okay, cool. And it starts off like this, folks. And this is a story that I'm giving you now. I can clearly see this episode is not going to be 30 seconds long or 30 minutes, but you wouldn't believe the stories that are still yet to come. So I gave the following story because this guy, you know what I mean, folks, I hate to say it to you, is like he did spend 3 years spending, according to him, 10,000 US dollars per month on his ex-girlfriend. Per month, 3 years. Like, that's a lot of sushi. And clearly I can see that when she cheated on him, he found out, he broke up with her, and then just went on holiday. He even contacted the mother. The mother reimbursed him, like $5,000, which is no small amount. And it's just how it goes. So I admired the man for how he handled all of this. And I told him that that's why I'm telling the following story. So he goes, thanks very much, as it were. But he's also like, just tell the story and get on with it, So I was like, yeah, okay. Now I'm on the back foot, right? What the hell was it, folks? This is a true story. And I'll tell it to you like I tell it to anyone ever. I have only ever told this story maybe only 5 times in my life. And so now is the 6th. And it's based in Scotland. Oh, Glasgow? No, Edinburgh. If you've heard of it. It's the capital city of Scotland, right? So what happened was, folks, I was working in a bar. I was 24 years old. Excuse me. Or maybe I was like 23, to be fair. 22, 23. It's hard to call sometimes. But either way, I mean, I am in my early 20s. And I'm probably, let's just stick with 24. Okay, so anyway, I'm in the bar and I'm doing bar work. And it's like a Tuesday, it's 2 p.m. I don't know if you've ever worked in a bar on a Tuesday at like 2 p.m., but it does get quite dry. Okay, there's nobody in the bar. You're on the main street, nobody's drinking at 2 p.m. Okay, cool. You've got an empty bar, folks. And it's like, it's so boring. It's so boring. So anyway, I've still got some regulars in. Okay, and there were these two old men. I don't mean like they're old men, like they look crappy, like from James Joyce Dubliners. Yeah, James Joyce Dubliners. Now these guys, they were like 65 to 70. Both were sharp dressed men. One was even, I mean, they're wearing trousers, they're wearing shirts, there's ties. One of them has a tweed jacket. I mean, these are smart dressed men. Old school. Old schoolers. And, they were regulars in the bar. One guy's always drinking the tenants. The other one, I don't know what the hell it was. But you get the idea. It's like, it was not a Jack Daniels and Coke. It would have been like, maybe a half pint of tenants and a nip of whiskey. Welcome to Edinburgh, Tuesday at 2 p.m. These guys are in here every single time, this time, every day, Tuesdays. They're regulars. That's why you call them regulars. They're regular to the bar. So what happened was anyway, and like, yeah, normally, they're just like sharp-witted men, as many Scotsmen normally are. If you ever want to meet Scotsmen in Edinburgh, folks, work in a bar. Okay, you're going to meet the working class and the high class. They will mix in bars, rich and poor, in an Edinburgh. So anyway, these guys, they're sharp-dressed men, and what was odd, what made the situation peculiar? Yeah, I'm definitely going over 30 minutes, guys. Stay with me. I'm telling you now the stories that I've got here for you. I'm keeping it as sharp as I can. Put this on in the background. Okay. What was weird about this one? And I'm working in a bar. It's a wooden bar. There's clearly windows and like a door that opens up like a saloon, but it's top to bottom. There's no gaps. And you need to polish the wood, ask everybody. Oh, God, this is my 30-minute timer gone. Like I say, it's an old wooden bar, south side of the city of Edinburgh. And there was this guy that walked in on this particular day. There was this one guy who came in, and I had never seen him before. So he was not a regular, and that's okay. And he says, he walks in, he says hello to the two old schoolers. And they were happy to see him, like, hey, they were happy to see him. This kid's like younger than me. This guy might have been 21. So I was probably like 23 or 24 or something. And so anyway, everybody gets chatting. And for the next 45 minutes, we had nothing but pure, unadulterated laughter. And I forget all of the jokes. Like, I forget what jokes were made. Was it me? Was it the new kid? Was it the two regulars? I mean, we were dying with laughter, folks. I mean, it just happened spontaneously because of the fact that this young kid was in, and he's like 21 years old. I mean, he was cracking a joke, then it's like somebody else's turn, then it's my turn. Like, we were all laughing, and we were crying as we were laughing. And, I told you as well, it's a Tuesday, 2 p.m. Like, it's boring as hell, man. So, this Tuesday at 2 p.m., lunchtime, was a pure, all this laughter. And there's only like, the two old guys, the two old boys, this new kid who's 21, and then there's me. Right, there's only 4 people in the bar, and there's probably a couple in the background who are like drinking wine, like a care, like they're already served. I don't have to worry about it, right? You sort out your clientele, folks. Remember that. So we're just like laughing, 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 and it did not stop. So at this point, I need to go to the toilet just to take a pee pee. No big deal. So I was like, guys, give me 1 minute, give me 1 minute. So I'm behind the bar. I then leave behind the bar, go to the toilet, doing my pee pee, and all I hear is this torrent of hardcore laughter. Now you might think to yourself, well, gee, you were laughing all day with these guys. What made this laughter different? The way these guys laughed, it was the loudest any one of us had laughed all day, and the dirtiest we'd ever laughed all day. Now here's me in the toilet. So I finish up, shake it all up, dry it off, burst, I run outside, because I run outside the toilet because I don't want to miss the laughter. We've already had such a good day today. So I burst out of the toilet. I was like, guys, what happened? And I get to I'm behind the bar again, and I'm looking at these 3 guys laughing really hard. And, one of the old guys is looking straight through me with the face of a devil, like a smiling devil, but he's not trying to hurt me. Okay. And he goes, oh, gee, you're going to love this one. And I was like, oh, really? What happened? And I meant it, guys. I said it like a child. I mean, whatever. I just wanted to know what happened because everybody's laughing. There's tears of happiness in everyone's eyes. I want to be part of this because we were already here for the last 45 minutes. And this is the best laugh and the dirtiest laughter of all the jokes that were told today. And the guy, the 21-year-old, he kind of sticks his chest out a little bit in order to signify that he's the guy that's going to be talking next. And he goes, oh, my friend Bigsy. Now, I don't know if his friend was actually called Bigsy. This part of the story, I actually forget. I forget the name of his friend. So I'm just going to run with Bigsy. This dirty blonde-haired 21-year-old kid goes, fucking Bigsy. He wouldn't, his best friend. He was in court today, and he's laughing, not laughing as said, but he said it with pride. And I was like, all right, what happened? And I do kind of regret asking folks, seriously, if somebody goes, a very hot tip, do you see if you ever meet somebody who's been to jail, never ever ask them what they've done. The guy's mugged an old lady, but he's not going to tell you that. He'll just tell you that he murdered 2 guys or some stupid story in order to look cool. Okay. So anyway, my man Bigsy, his court case today, just got sentenced. And I was like, all right, for what? And like I said, I do kind of regret asking. The guy goes, oh, for... The guy goes, well, for beating a guy to death. And I was like, wait, to death? And the guy goes, no, well, not to death, but he was hospitalized really heavily. And I was like, why would your friend Bigsy do that? And the 21-year-old kid goes, well, that's the best part of it. And here's what happened, folks. He then told his story. The story I did not know, but now you will. What had happened was, folks, a Mr. Bigsy is a plumber. Okay, so he does fix pipes, as it were. Okay, sometimes plumbers fix more than pipes, but you get the idea. Waterworks, pipes, done. Call the plumber. So he left the house at 7 a.m., showered, shaved, well dressed for plumbing work. And he says to his wife, "Hey wife, I'm leaving now. I will see you later on at like 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. because that's how it normally worked." So she goes, "Yeah, no problem, darling. See you later. Love you. Bye-bye." So Bigsy, he then goes to his job. It's his career. He's a plumber. He's got like 5 jobs to do, whatever, like fix this in one location, fix blah, blah in another location. It's like 20 miles apart. Bigsy has to drive between jobs, folks. There is no teleportation system. He has a car and he knows this. That's why he has one with all his gear in the back. So Bigsy, anyway, by 10 a.m., Bigsy finished all his jobs. Like Bigsy only had 5 jobs to do, folks, for the whole day. He did all 5. He finished them by 10 a.m. I don't know how you feel about it, 9 to 5, but Bigsy knows, and this is like a dying art, but when you finished your day's work, then just go home. Like, why would you do more work? Are you getting paid more or something? You're not, right? So Bigsy, he goes home, drives home, and he sees in his driveway of the house that he shares with his wife, he sees like somebody else's car, like in the driveway. So he thinks to himself, that's suspicious. So Bigsy, he parks his car to the side of the house. There's like a road or whatever. Walks to the house. I mean, he's parked outside of it pretty much. Walks into the house and he can hear it. He can hear it. He then tiptoes, and I crap you not, folks, like this happened. The guy tiptoes up the stairs to get to the bedroom, and he can hear them having sex in the bedroom. His wife with some guy he doesn't even know. And Bigsy, folks, I kid you not, Bigsy even opened the door just a little bit, just 1 or 2 inches, just to get that crack so he could see what was happening. And he saw his wife and some of the guy just making love. They weren't even making out, folks. I mean, they were making love, I'm afraid, on the bed. Okay, so Bigsy sees this. And he's like, okay, cool, no problem. He then, bear in mind, they have not heard him yet. They do not know that Bigsy's behind the door. So Bigsy, he goes all the way down the stairs, tiptoes. They still cannot hear him. And I tell you what, folks, just to give it to you now, do you see when you normally walk up and down stairs, there's always a creak. But the wife and the lover, they don't hear the Bigsy, right? So anyway, Bigsy goes out, he goes to his car, and he picks out, or his van, sorry. And he's a plumber, you remember. So he picks out this utensil. And it's called a monkey wrench. Okay, so hopefully, I mean, I'm really bad at DIY. If you give me a monkey wrench, I'd be like, do I build a ladder with this? Like, I mean, in all fairness, how do you use a monkey wrench? I mean, what am I supposed to use for? Toileting or something? Like, do I fix a toilet with a monkey wrench? But it's quite long. It's made out of metal. It's heavy steel or whatever. And it's, it's like, 1.5 feet long or something. Either way, Bigsy, he goes all the way back up into his house, all the way upstairs. They still can't hear him. The next step's kind of important. He grabs his wife by the hair and tears her off of the guy. He then proceeds to beat the lover with this monkey wrench almost to death. Okay, now the guy survives. He's hospitalized, and like I said, Bigsy, he gets 5 years, either 5 or 10 years, either 5 or 10 years in prison. Like I forget, and that's how the story ended. So this 21-year-old kid, he's just finished telling me the story I've just told you. We're in the bar. I've got two old boys. One's, nice shirts, trousers, old school. One's got a tweed jacket. This 20-year-old kid, Bigsy. So he finishes the story, this 20-year-old kid. And I stand there and I was like, wait, why was everybody laughing? Because remember, folks, I was in the toilet, right? And I rushed out just to find the laughter because we've been laughing so hard for the last 45 minutes. And I kind of felt insecure asking, why is this funny? Because everyone was laughing so hard and I did not find this funny. And the guy goes, well, he shrugs. He's like, it's Bigsy. And I was like, number one, I don't know who the hell Bigsy is. Number two, like, why is this cool? Like, you seem to enjoy the fact that Bigsy did this. Like, you're loving Bigsy. And Bigsy was this guy's friend. He goes, yeah, well, we've been friends together. And the guy's a legend. And I was like, wait, I'm still missing the point. He goes, look, man, like into my face. No, not like violently into my face, but he was like checking me. This Scotsman, 21. He goes, look, man, what would you do? What would you do in that situation? Because Bigsy did it. He's a hero to me. Bigsy's done it. What would you do? And I mean, this kid expected me to be like, oh, yeah. Just be like, I don't know what he wanted. I mean, look, I said to him, I don't know Bigsy. And what I would do is I would walk away. If I found out that I was married, my wife is like having an affair, I would walk away. And the guy goes, why would you do that? And I'm like, do you expect me to beat the guy? I mean, do you expect me to do what your friend Bigsy did? Like beat the guy half to death and then go to jail for what? If I do that, I said to him, if I were to have done that, I would be going to jail for 5 or 10 years for a stupid bitch who is a fucking idiot that is cheating on me. Why would I go to jail for somebody like that? And the guy's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, and then I looked at the two guys, the two old guys, and I was like, why were you laughing? And the guy with the tweed jacket, with the devilish smile and eyes that looked through me, he looked through me even further then and nodded. And it is just one of those things, folks. And that's how that story ended. And remember, I'm in the club. We're in the side room. I was at the back wall of the back room. I'm now chatting to these three guys. And one of the guys, not the guy from West Virginia, but one of the other guys who is listening to the West Virginian story about the $10,000 a month thing, he's from Germany. And he goes, oh, no, but that guy, he's a hero to me. And I was like, who? He goes, Bigsy. I was like, why is Bigsy a hero to you? He goes, oh, because, when someone, dances, he didn't say dance, but you get the idea. When somebody dances with your wife, that's what you should do. And I was like, I don't know what part of 5 to 10 years for a stupid bitch. You didn't understand, man. At that point, the West Virginian high-fived me. Folks, that guy spent $10,000 a month on a woman that wasn't worth it. $10,000 a month. Like, come on, man. For anyone that does listen to this channel or can hear this episode, my voice, do ask it. I personally never asked myself, do I make $10,000 a month minimum? So anyway, this German guy, he's loving Bigsy. He's part of the Bigsy fan club. Break the guy. When I pointed out that the guy had chosen the wrong side, he then got vulgar with how women had meant so much to him. And it did come out of the blue a little bit. And it was vulgar. And I forget who the third guy was. Like, really, I mean, I really don't care at this point. He's actually completely irrelevant. He may as well be a dummy. But there were three guys there. Oh no, I remember him actually. He was the dead on guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he was a quiet guy. I do remember him now. Actually, he looked very sharp, looked very elven. He's now left. Okay, so up here where I'm living, like you'll meet guys, but they're only here for like 4 days. You know what I mean? All three men have probably left already. But the West Virginian goes, oh no, no, sorry, I said the German had been vulgar about what women went, sorry, the German had been vulgar about how much women had meant to him physically as a human, as a man. All right. So, and it did sound a bit controlling. So I jumped in with my second story, and this is where this episode is going to end. Folks, you're not going to believe. Oh, this story I'm going to tell is so good that I'm going to give it its own episode in the future. So if you're catching it now for the first time in this podcast, like, well done for listening so long. I mean, this story is literally hidden in this podcast episode, 46 and a half minutes or so into the podcast. Okay, like this is the ticket. Because I've just seen this German make a really horrible mistake, folks. Like, you can fancy women all you want, no problem, folks. Like, it's totally okay. But I mean, this he's 21. People can it's a sin of youth, actually, folks, and it's not even your fault. You can watch too much TV. You can watch too much porn. A little bit of anything is good for you. Too much of anything is bad for you, folks. Even water. And it can affect your body or your psychology. And I hope that you understand that the reason why I could see it in this kid is because, and I hate to say this, Jesus, I used to do that to objectify women. And I didn't mean to. I don't mind saying to you that the way this guy did it was worse than how I had done it. But remember, we're all guys here. We're in the back end of the club. There's nobody else here in this back room. And it's all guy talk. And this guy, he really had crossed the line. And I know this is something I'd grown out of, folks. This kid, he's 21. He hasn't quite grown out of it. And we're living in a different year, by the way. I'm 42 now. I was 41, 21 years ago. There wasn't really any social media back then. Like, I don't know, is there a better time back then or today? We have different technologies and whatnot, but it can blind you the way media can hit you. And this kid's been hit by it. And he thinks it's cool to talk like this. Now, the West Virginian and I, we kind of glanced at each other because the way this guy had talked was a bit weird. Like the way he had objectified women. And it was like one sentence. I'm not even going to say it, but you get the idea. It was one sentence. I'm talking more about it. It takes more for me to talk about it now than how the incident itself had actually taken long enough to take. And so I jumped in with this one. I was like, okay, guys, before I leave yous, I'm going to give you a good one. And this is the next story, folks. And this is the last one, really. You're not going to believe it. I'm going to give this next story its own episode. It's that good. And I really do forget, folks. I have traveled and developed over like 24 countries. I really do forget where or what culture this story comes from. The nature of the story, though, I don't know. I'm going to think it's Western. It's either American or English, but it's clearly not Irish or Scottish. Or I hope so. I mean, it's definitely. I've never heard an Irishman tell me this story. In fact, folks, if you can hear me tell this story, I am literally the only Irishman on the earth that tells this story. The only Irishman on earth. And I really hate. You owe me no money for this one, folks. You really owe me nothing. God damn it. I'm getting thirsty, guys. I'm going to push through. I've got a good one for you. You know, because you're married or you've got boyfriends or girlfriends. Maybe you're single, into self love. I mean, like, respect yourself. I mean, love yourself, folks. Jesus. But we all have these lofty dreams that I'm about to describe next. Because remember, folks, I mean, I've heard this story before, but I unleashed it upon the German guy and the West Virginian. And again, the third guy, he might have been Swedish. So I really did have a captivated audience because between me and the West Virginian and the Swedish guy, the way the German had talked, it was objectifying women, I'm afraid, like physical objects. And if you're cool with that, you're cool with that, no problem, folks. But remember, there's always a further stage whereby you can literally just treat women like they're humans. And I do feel sorry for saying that. I'm so sorry, folks. It really is one of the things you need to sharpen up. And you will. If you have the mentality for it to self-develop. Or like women aren't just objects, right? But in your younger 20s and all the rest of it seems easier, which it is. But remember, I was like 21 years ago or something. This kid's 21 today. And I don't know if there is a difference, but the technology and the access to all these things that we do have, folks, it can influence somebody's perspective and behavior. And it's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's crappy. Somebody gets hurt. It's nobody's fault. Either way, I knew there was a problem here. Me, the West Virginian, and the Swedish guy, we kind of figured out that this is awkward chat this guy was giving us, this German guy. It's a real shame. I have met so many good Germans, men, or folks, ladies and gentlemen. You get the idea. So nobody knows what to do. And the German guy, he's like still smiling, expecting us all to like high five the guy. So I jumped in with, I've got a really good story to tell you guys. And they were like, really? And I was like, look, I forget what culture this one comes from. And again, folks, I've literally only ever told this story 5 times. I've heard it once and I've told it 5 times. This is the 6th time. And I'm the only man from Ireland that tells this story. In the future, the more Irishmen that hear the story, then the more Irishmen that'll tell this story. But for now, you really are having something exclusive. And the story I'm about to tell you, if you've heard it before, tell me about it in the comments below, folks. Like, I know it's a rare one. It really is something different. So you know how it goes. Like, I mean, you got this guy. Now, if you're male or female or trans or whatever, folks, try to massage this story a little bit, okay? But I'm telling you now, it starts off with a guy. And he goes, breathing, drowning in the water, coughing, salt water. What the hell? He's spitting it out. He's clawing through the sand, clawing up. Oh my God. Like scared. He's scared. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just like woken up and he's looking left nothing but beach. Looking right, nothing but beach. He looks behind him, nothing but ocean. No boats, no islands. I mean, the sky is blue, but the water is grey. Just two colours. And he's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like, he is scared. He is scared, folks. He turns back to look back behind him, and there's all the trees, all the palm trees. And he thinks to himself, oh my goodness, I am on a desert island. Which is true. In his peripheral vision, he sees a twinkle, like it's a coin, maybe a gold coin. He sprints over, toes through the sand. He picks up this. He picks up this lamp. I kid you not, folks. It's a lamp. And he's like, oh my goodness, he knows exactly what this is. This guy's not stupid. He rubs the lamp, and out from the lamp comes a genie. Okay. Now, folks, genies, I don't know if you know this, but they do come in different colours. You got blue, purples, reds, blacks, blah, blah, blah. This one's like red. Okay, so this genie is red. And the genie goes, hey, man, how are you doing? And the guy's like, oh, my goodness, are you a genie? And the genie goes, yeah, I'm a genie. Yeah, I'm a genie. And today is your lucky day, sport. And the guy goes, why is it my lucky day? Like, happy and everything. And the genie goes, look, man, let's face facts here. You are on a desert island. Okay? It does not matter how you got here, but you are here. And it is your lucky day. So the guy goes, why is it, like, why is it my lucky day? And the genie goes, well, you're on a desert island. And he goes, do you see these palm trees? And the guy's like, yeah, I see the palm trees, what of it? The genie goes, behind those palm trees, you can have anything you want. And the guy's like, anything? And the genie goes, anything. All the books you want, all the movies, any sports you want to play, any clothes you want to wear, any friends you want to have, blah, 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 like everything. Anything you want to study or do or play with, it's all inside those palm trees. You have any food you want to eat. Any day, any time, any book, any movie, it's all in those palm trees. And the guy's like, everything? And the genie goes, everything. And the guy goes, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And he goes to sprint into the palm trees to get all this food, all these books, all these movies and all that jazz. And the genie kind of puts his hand out a little bit and like stops him. He goes, whoa. We've got one more thing to do here, buddy. Like, don't be too fast. And the guy's like, what else do we need to do? And the genie goes, we need to design your perfect partner. And the guy's like, huh? And just like that, this humanoid figure appears beside the genie. Okay, when I say humanoid, this thing it has a head. It's like a blob, but it has 2 arms, 2 legs, and it's grey. It has a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, torso, but other than that, there's no features on this thing. That's why it looks like a blob. It's kind of weird looking. So the guy goes, "What the hell is that?" And the genie goes, "This is going to be your perfect partner." And the guy goes, "My perfect partner?" And the genie goes, "Yeah, yeah. It's going to be your perfect partner. And there's a catch." And the guy goes, "Well, a perfect partner? Like, what are you talking about?" And the genie's like, "Okay, cool. So here's what happens. Like, this is your perfect partner." Like this, he points to this humanoid figure that's like faceless, no features, that's just kind of standing there like a blob. And the guy's like, "This looks weird." And the genie's like, "No, you don't understand. I mean, I'm going to design your perfect partner. So, this humanoid figure right now will be your perfect partner, and they can be anything you want. Okay? They can be male, female, they can be any skin color you want, any hair color you want, any eye color you want. What size of hips do you want? What kind of chest do you want? Breasts, waist, toes, toenails, anything you want. Accent, personality. You get to design your perfect partner on this desert island. So the genie, he takes out this pen and paper, like to take down the notes and everything. He goes, "So what do you want, man?" And the guy's like, wait, hang on. You're telling me I can have my perfect partner on this island?" And the genie's like, with his pen and paper, the genie's like, "Yeah, yeah. What's your problem?" And the guy goes, "Well, you said, there was a catch." And the genie, he lifts his pen from the paper and he goes, "Ah, yes, the catch." About that. The guy goes, "If this is my perfect partner, then what's the catch?" The genie goes, "Well, like I said, you can design your perfect partner. Any hair color, hair length, skin color, weight, height, fat, thin, short, tall, whatever, male or female. I mean, you can have whatever you want here, actually." The genie goes, "The catch is that you can do, like, we will design your perfect partner. You will tell me exactly what they look like. But the catch is that you can either do A or B." So the guy goes, "What's the difference between A or B?" And the genie goes, "You can either A, have sex, have sex. You can either A, have sex with your perfect partner for the rest of your life, but there is no intimacy, or B, you can have intimacy with your perfect partner for the rest of your life, but no sex." On that note, folks, I do ask you to consider, what do you think the guy should have chosen? this guy on this desert island, A or B? Now, in the reality, of course, of this nightclub, this back room where four guys are talking, the German guy, God damn it, man, folks, you cannot fix something that's broken. You really cannot. But the West Virginian, on the other hand, he like high fived me, and like everyone, to be fair, everyone was high fiving me, but the West Virginian high fived me and said, "You know what, man? You are really good at storytelling." So I said, "No, I'm not, but thank you so much anyway. Like, it is a dying art." And he goes, "No, no, no, no. My grandmother's Irish, like from County Cork or something. And she's the storyteller, and she has like 500,000 subscribers." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, man, you were kidding me." He goes, "No, no, no, really, really." I was like, "Wowie." Like, seriously, folks, it really is something else. I really do have to jump off here, folks. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you were cooking, or maybe doing some needlework, or maybe just doing some house cleaning, or just sitting back on the sofa. Thanks for listening. I hope this entertained you. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I got to jump off here myself. I've kind of got something to do that I kind of don't want to do in 2 hours. I'm like, okay, I've actually got to go now anyway. But, as always, folks, I hope you were entertained by the storytelling tonight. Maybe, judge me. I mean, am I good at storytelling? Am I the best? Right? It doesn't matter. I just hope you were entertained. And I want you to know that you're going to have today in front of you and tomorrow in front of you. So don't be afraid of walking well. Take a look left, take a look right as you walk through life, folks. But more importantly, today on your safe journey home. And may your God or your gods go with you on that safe journey. Well done, and thank you so much.